Welcome to your fourth video in your Scolio Pilates series, Scoliosis Specific Exercise. I'm Karena Thek, the author and founder of Scolio Pilates. In this exercise video, we are going to find your curve. And we all have this image of our radiographs, our x-rays, our MRIs, where the spine tends to bend sideways one way or the other. But something that we don't hear a lot about are the rotations. We certainly feel the rotations, and probably as an owner of scoliosis like me, you probably are very aware of those rotations and where they are. And the rotations are the sticky out parts on our backs. The part that when you sit with your back against a hard chair, it's the part that touches the chair first. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to talk about how do we find those parts of the curve. And what does that look like in your back specifically? So we call it finding your curve or finding your sand dunes and your tide pools. And the sand dunes are the sticky out parts. Like I said, you could sit in a hard back chair with your back against the chair and just kind of roll your back side to side and feel which side touches that chair more. And that will be your sand dune side or the convexity. You could also lie yourself down on the floor on the sand and just hug your shoulders. We're going to lift the hips just a smidge, just so we have that upper back resting on the floor. And then I'm going to roll towards you, and I'm going to roll away from you. And as I roll side to side, I can feel that one side of my upper back feels like there's a tennis ball underneath it. It really presses into the earth, into the sand. And as I roll to the other side, it's not a lot going on there. It touches as I roll, but it doesn't feel like I'm pushing onto like a tennis ball between my back and the sand. So my sand dune side is going to be my right side. That's my sticky out part or my convexity. And then my hollow side or my tide pool side is going to be my left. We also call that a concavity. So sand dune, convexity, tide pool, concavity. And that's how we can find our curve and our rotation in our upper back. Now we're going to move to the lower back. And in the lower back, we're going to hug the knees to the chest, just enough so that my hips start to roll off of the sand just a little bit. And then from here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to roll to the right. I'm going to roll to the left. And I'm going to see if there's one part of my low back that seems like it's pressing more firmly into the earth. And certainly for me, it's the left side. There's really absolutely no question about which side is pressing more into the earth. On the left side of my low back, it feels like there's a tennis ball between the sand and my back that I'm rolling over. And on the right side, I got nothing. You know, I roll far enough towards you, then I feel my hip bone hitting the sand, but not so much my back. It's there, but it's not very firm. So that is how we find those rotations. And then the next part is, what do we do with those rotations? Well, we're going to use some wedges. If you don't have wedges, you can use washcloths. If you're on the sand, you can use sand. And we're going to talk about that in the next video, now that we know where our curves are. This has been a balanced body video.